All right. Well, we drove in on a rainy morning and got here about right on time, 9 a.m. and came in and didn't know what we were doing.
The doors were open to the wing and there was no one at the reception desk.
And the lights were off at the reception desk.
Yeah, so we just went inside and talked to one of the nurses.
And they were very confused because we weren't supposed to just walk in like that because the doors weren't supposed to stay open.
Yeah, so they sent us back out to the waiting room and told us they would come get us. A few minutes later, wasn't very long, they come and got us and put us in this room that we're in right now.
And then we got paperwork going. They started my IV, which I was really nervous for, but it wasn't that bad. And they did blood work, and that wasn't terrible. Or they drew blood for blood work. And then they started me on the medicine to induce me, and it was not super fun. The one I had to do orally was like a pill. It wasn't really a pill, it was just like a tablet that you have to just kind of stick in your mouth, like in your cheek or under your tongue, and just let it dissolve, but it took forever.
Probably took about 30 minutes each time she had it, and she did it 3 times?
I did it 3 times, and the third time I had to have 2 in one time. It tasted like chalk, like just eating chalk, but the worst chalk you ever had. And it dried out my throat, and that's why I sound like this a lot, and because I've been crying. But
we had a lot of family come by.
Yeah,
there was there while we were waiting for labor to start.
I mean, there was no moments that family wasn't here.
Yeah.
Unless we needed people to leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, my parents got here first, and they were here for a long time, sitting with us, and then my sister got in from A&M, and she came and she sat with us, and then Amy and David came, and was your sister there at the beginning, or did she come later in the day? No, I think she came later. Amy and David came, and so my parents, they like flip-flopped because we didn't have a lot of chairs in here. But apparently they found like a really nice waiting room. So
but Katie came in here by herself.
That's right, Katie came in by herself.
Yeah, and we just chatted and had a nice time.
It was really nice.
And we just rotated family.
Oh, but for lunch, my parents picked us up Chick-fil-A, and I got a Oreo milkshake. It was very good.
And I maxed out all the Chick-fil-A sauce we could possibly get.
And they thought that was very funny because
we got way too much.
Got a lot of Chick-fil-A sauce. But yeah, and then for dinner, Amy and David brought McAllister's. And I had broccoli and cheese soup, but I had one bite of it, and I was like, I can't do this. Well, they had given me a pain medicine through the IV. And it was so funny because I was asking the nurse, like, well, this made me nauseous, just knowing I was about to eat soon. And she's like, not normally, like it could, but not normally. And as soon as I get it, I threw up, like
almost immediately.
But once it was out of my system, it was good. Anyway, so then they came and they brought dinner, but I ate one bite of the broccoli and cheese soup, and it sounded good when I ordered it, and then suddenly it was not good.
So I gave her some mac and cheese.
He sat by me and fed me mac and cheese because I don't know why. Oh, I was shaking. That's why. Yeah. I was shaking so badly.
Medicine that she had made her side effect is shaking.
Yeah, that induction medicine made me super, super shaky. So I started getting the shakes like just a little bit. It was more like when I was standing up. But then it was like just consistent.
Oh.
But before then,
we had a dance party.
To
Trolls music.
Other music. No, it's just Trolls.
Mostly Trolls music.
I I was just, the medicine was kicking in. I was starting to have contractions, and it just felt like laying here. I was like, all I can do is focus on the pain right now. So I was like, I want, maybe just being up would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was like 30 minutes. We just kind of danced around and laughed and
a lot of laughs.
And had a good time. And it really helped distract me. But yeah, then later on I was just shaking too badly. So when I was in bed and we were doing dinner, Matt fed me macaroni and cheese, and it's funny
way too big a bite
because his bite size is not my bite size, and it was funny. I just bite off like half of what he gave me on the spoon. But yeah, and then just during that time, I was just getting kind of sleepy, but also just in pain. And then your parents were here, and my parents came back. So my dad, I don't know where everybody went.
I don't know.
There's
a few people in the room.
But my parents were here, Julia was here, Amy and David were here, and but I got up to use the restroom, and I was super shaky, so Matt had to take me over there. And then when I came back out, I was like, maybe just standing would help, and like holding on to Matt. So I was just kind of like, like arms around him, holding on to him. And so we started like slow dancing, and he started singing the song Tennessee Whiskey, and it was just like a really sweet moment. And then we kind of got to the end of doing that. We're just standing there kind of swaying, and all of a sudden, whoosh, my water broke.
All over the ground.
All over his shoes. And he was so sweet because I was wearing a robe over the medical gown, like my own robe. And he, instead of saving his feet, he made sure nothing got like on the robe. So it was very thoughtful of him. But man, I just didn't, we didn't know what this was going to look like delivering this early.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I don't know why, I just didn't think my water was going to break.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was like the weirdest thing ever. For half a second, I was like, did I just pee myself? But it was so much fluid.
Yeah.
But then it was kind of go time from there. So everybody wide-eyed, and then my dad and his dad left.
Yeah.
And I was shaky, but I don't know, honestly, and I was having contractions at the time.
Yeah, and she was having some bleeding as well. And
I was so distracted by the fact that it was like whoosh, whoosh. So the nurse was really sweet and was just like, you're good, just get into bed, they cleaned me up. And so after that, I don't know if they gave me more oral pills after that. I don't think so.
No, they were kind of just trying to figure out
where we were at with things, because things were happening a lot faster than they thought they were.
Yeah, and originally we didn't think that we were going to deliver until the following day, but...
And this was probably 8:45-ish, 9 p.m., if I could guess.
Yeah. By about 9:30, I would say, your pain level was just too much.
And so
she decided that she wanted to get an epidural.
So they had to do me. I don't think I was on fluids for 20 minutes. She said 20 minutes, but I don't think it was.
No, she got some fluids, not as much as the CNA normally likes to do, but Laurel's blood pressure was holding strong, and so he felt comfortable going ahead with the epidural, and I think he just kind of lowered the loading dose and didn't give you such a big dose, especially because you're such a small person, but anyways, so she got the epidural, which was an experience for sure.
It really was. I think I was the most scared of that, and it's funny hearing other people's stories. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to be miserable. And by that point, I was miserable, just really, really in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like by the time you get the epidural, like it's painful, but you're already in pain. So it's a different pain. So it's kind of distracting from the already pain. But yeah, then they got it going. And it wasn't
right
like
before...
this instant relief. And I think some people describe it as that, as like you just feel a warm rush. I think I didn't feel that because they weren't giving me a high dose.
Well, right before it, she was in a lot of pain and she was shaking like a lot because of the meds.
Yeah.
And so like she was really uncomfortable, kind of out of breath. And after she got the epidural, it was like yeah, maybe that she didn't feel that rush, but you were so much more calm.
I was more calm.
You were like just relaxed, like you could just like rest. And then we decided Hannah was calling or texting, and so Laurel decided she wanted to call and talk to Hannah.
Yeah, I figured it'd just be easier to call her back instead of text her back. And so I call her and we're talking, and this is maybe 10 minutes after getting the epidural. And I just got the epidural. Like I'm still kind of feeling contractions, but not as bad. But I can tell that it's gonna get better. And we're talking for just a little bit, and then I turned to my mom and Matt, who are in the room, and I was like, I think he's coming. And almost as soon as I said that, he was here. Mm-hmm. It was like...
I lifted the blanket up and he was already out.
Yeah,
instantaneously.
It was instant. I didn't push or anything. He was here. So he's such an answered prayer. Just this easy delivery. And also before this, part of the side effects of the medicine is it gives you a fever. So I had a fever of
100.3, something like that.
So it was a low-grade fever, but I felt hot.
Yeah, she was
I felt terrible. I was shaking, hot. So Matt had been like icing my forehead and put ice on my chest and was fanning me. I really was pitiful. The fever broke about right before the epidural, and so it was like I was fever free. I was pretty much pain free, but I still had feeling, and I could feel him come out, and it was, for me, it was just like this overwhelming sense of just like joy of after the labor, like he was finally here, and just peace. And I was really thankful. We were playing the Peace album by Bethel.
And we called Hannah, and so that music kind of stopped during that. And then once we hung up with Hannah, the music started again, and the song Raise a Hallelujah started playing. And I just thought that was such a God thing.
Beautiful moment.
Just to say hallelujah in this beautiful, terrible but beautiful moment.
Yeah. But yeah, so I pushed the call button for the nurse, and they said, "Hi, can we help you?" I said, "Okay, I just had a baby." And so they came.
They came in pretty quick and
started getting things situated. And one of the concerns that we had was just delivering the placenta of, this isn't a normal situation. So they said they'd give me a couple hours to see if it would come on its own. But if not, they would have to remove it themselves. Mm-hmm. And it was maybe 10 minutes after I delivered him.
Once the doctor showed up, she checked and saw basically placenta was right at the door.
Yeah. And so got it right out.
Mm-hmm. Just took 2 pushes and it came out.
And I'm so thankful I could still I had feeling, because after that, after I delivered him and after I delivered the placenta, was when I really started to feel my legs kind of numb up more, and so I think it would have been harder. So it was just like such a blessing that that all worked out.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was just a sweet moment with Matt and with my mom, and yeah, just the music playing. I'll never forget it. It was beautiful. And then what?
They weighed him. He's 133 grams.
133 grams.
We got to hold him.
Yeah, they took him and they cleaned him up a little.
And they wrapped him up in this little, I don't even know, envelope of yarn. Crocheted by some old ladies with beautiful hearts.
Yeah.
For people in our situation.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, we had a lot of really sweet moments with each other, and with Elijah and with your mom. And
the nurses were really wonderful.
Yeah.
Just super compassionate. I feel like we just felt so loved on by everybody around us during this time. But yeah, they took him, got him cleaned up, brought him back to us. They got to hold him. And it was really sweet. And then my mom left to go be with everybody else in the waiting room and kind of update them. And Matt and I got some special time, just the two of us. And I mean, I think we were just like in awe.
Yeah. Just seeing God's creation. You know?
Just and looking at like his tiny feet and hands and like all his toes. It's just incredible.
A miracle to be able to witness something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Just feel very lucky in a way. You know, not many people get to experience something like this and see God's craftsmanship, you know, and in the middle of a pregnancy, you know.
But yeah, then everybody came in. It was very emotional, but very sacred.
We just had worship music going around, and we prayed and we hugged and we.
Everybody got a chance to hold him.
Yeah.
But backtracking a little, before. No, it's okay. It's just that it's funny as I talk, I'm remembering details. Before the epidural, maybe 30 minutes before, they had given me, so this would have been 9 o'clock, they had given me sleeping medicine because we were under the impression that this was gonna be an all-night thing, and I just wanted to be able to sleep, and so I had taken some sleeping medicine and it kind of been in my system, and then a little bit later had been given some other medicine through the IV, and then they did saline through the IV, and the smell of saline made me so sick, so I threw up. So I don't know how much of the sleeping medicine absorbed in my system, but it was enough that when everybody, after he was born and everybody was in here, like, I was enjoying just watching everybody else, but man, I was like, my eyes were getting really heavy. So
just after, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, so I sat back and really got to enjoy everybody else being in the moment. And
just after we enjoyed that time with each other, and then just after midnight, we had everybody left, and they kind of helped us get prepared to go to sleep that night. And as we were laying down, one of the nurses took him, and she went and tried, just kind of cleaned him up a little bit more, and got some footprints, and and then she brought him back, and we had him in what they call a saline float, and so it just kind of helps fill him out a little bit and preserve him, and
we were able to see details better.
Yeah, it kind of magnifies and just see his little bitty toes just kind of up and bigger, and and we slept hard. Laurel crashed, and I was right behind her.
They brought me a new bed.
Yeah, this new bed, so nice.
So nice. And Matt's bed, he folded it down and scooted it to be next to mine, so we were right next to each other. Man, we were so exhausted, and so we slept until
about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, we got up at 6. Then the nurse came in at 6 to just check on us. I don't even remember. Maybe, I'm guessing she took my vitals.
Yeah.
Maybe gave me some medicine. I don't know. We were so out of it. And then
at 8, Laurel had to get some more blood drawn.
So we kind of woke up after that.
And
then we just stayed in bed for a long time. And then some of our friends sent us like DoorDash gift cards, which was super sweet. And so we ordered some donuts. It was funny. We looked at the hospital menu. We were trying to decide what we wanted, and I was like, is this included, or are we gonna get billed for this? And Matt's like, I think we're probably gonna get billed for this. I'm like, well, if I'm getting billed for this, we're getting food not from the hospital.
Right.
And so we got donuts, and we got extra donuts to take to the nurses. And yeah, so we ate our breakfast, and we caught up on some updating with people. And then we just kind of sat, we played cards, and baby was in the room with us the whole time, the whole night and the whole morning. And it was just sweet. We would have fun and joke and laugh and cry and talk about how we were feeling, and just different things and process, and just able to enjoy the sunshine and the view out the window. We got a wonderful view. Yeah,
there's this really big cypress tree.
Really big cypress tree, and there's a bush across the way.
Oh yeah.
That must be some kind of butterfly attracting bush, because there's just been butterflies over there all day long. And there wasn't any yesterday because it was a little rainy, so it was sweet seeing all these butterflies today. But yeah, it was just a lot of really, really sweet times, just the two of us this morning.
Yeah.
So it was just the two of us all morning.
And then we had some people come for lunch.
Hannah and Sean brought us lunch. And we spent some time with them. And then around that time, our family started coming in. And it's my dad's birthday, so I found a bakery down the street and placed an order for cupcakes this morning, and then Amy picked them up. So I surprised him with the cupcakes, and that was really sweet. And yeah, we just had some good times as a family. Everybody kind of got to see him. And Jace got to be here too. And so we all just kind of hung out for a long time. And then the photographer came.
And took him to another room. And
yeah, the paper they were using to do the footprints for the baby was just printer paper, and I was kind of wanting something a little nicer. And so my mom and sister and Amy went to Hobby Lobby down the street and picked out all kinds of papers, really pretty paper, and brought it back. That was so nice. And so when they got back, the photographer and our nurse Natalie took him, and they did his prints on the paper, and then they got some pictures of him in another room, and got him all bundled up, and then brought him back to us. Oh, and my mom, she crocheted this blanket. It was unfinished because she was still working on it. but she crocheted this blanket for him. So
And the hat.
since it was unfinished, she brought it here yesterday and worked on it, and then last night, or maybe this morning, finished it. And then she crocheted him this little hat, and then today added these little ears. It's so sweet.
So sweet.
Because when we made our baby registry, all of the outfits Matt had put on it had little ears on it. So, because it's
so
cute. Because it's cute. And so that was sweet having that little detail. But then we took photos with the photographer, and that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And
after that, we had
spent
spent time with family, holding him, and just kind of loving on each other and laughing and crying. And
everybody said their goodbyes.
And then we got our time almost to here, to this time right now, and got our time together, and we spent, I don't know, probably an hour, maybe less, I don't know, playing different songs that we would have loved to have shown him, and some of our favorite songs and favorite artists. And,
and just we talked and cried a lot.
Cried a lot. And now we're here, and we're about to say goodbye. So.
No, it's okay. And this is Natalie. Hi.